Hi, welcome back to Hostbox CH channel and back to computer architecture and organization series. Today we are going to see the topic called secondary storage devices in computers. So fundamentals of computers also. The previous session I explained about the memory management requirements with topic small subtopics called relocation, sharing and so on. Today we are going to see the secondary storage devices. You may study in your BTech the era first year or something, some basic computer science papers, but not detailed. Today we are going to see what are the secondary storages important today and how it work, how organized the data or how the data organized and what are the advantages and how to how to view or how what is the structure of these devices and so on. Some real time examples. So today the objective of course is to learn about the magnetic disk, optical disk and followed by magnetic taps also. First one, there are secondary. These are what? These are the semiconductor memories. Do not provide all the storage capability. Remember, the secondary storage devices provide larger storage requirements, but and also some of the storage devices you can say example magnetic disk, optical disk, and magnetic taps. Magnetic disk. This another name is called hard disk. It's one of the main and very main and very important component of any computer or laptop. Can you imagine the world without computer or laptop? No, not possible. So without hard disk nothing exists. Where hard disk is the place where we can store all the data. You have a lot of capability, 500 MB, 500 GB and so on. Based on your computer configurations, it may be available the 500 GB, 200 GB and so on and so on and so on. Here magnetic disk is there. It always consists of one or more disk mounted on a common spindle, and also a thin magnetic film is deposited on each disk, and also disk is placed in a rotary drive so that the magnetized surfaces move in close proximity to read/write heads, and also each read write head consists of a magnetic yoke and magnetic coil also. And also here what's the information, that is digital information, not analog. Here the digital information is stored on magnetic film by applying current pulse to the magnetic coil. Let's go the diagram of the hard disk here. So this hard disk, many of them may studied or may have chance to visit the IT laboratories, IT or some CSE laboratories, where you can contact a system admin or some hardware engineers. They will try to show the hard disk. Any computer if opens, they will hard disk. The structure is like that only. It's have a weight and available with 2000 GB, 200 GB, 500 GB and so on based on the computers. So let's go here internal structure of this one. Okay, this is the internal structure where it follows the mechanical only. See, this is the read write head detail and one bit and some information with it. It is the digital information, how the data will be stored here. For example, typing, saving the text file, program file or whatever with that. Here it followed by the, remember here is following the concept of access mechanism where rotation happening. Whenever data, here rewrite head will be there and the rotary drive shaft will be there. So every whenever you try to save the data, do some operations, the read and write will take care of the operations and it will rotate. One time rotate and second time rotate, third time rotate and fourth time rotate and so on. So even whatever the any computer had damage, according to the hardware knowledge, what happen if a hard disk and you can get back the data backup. So all the data will be in the hard disk only. You know the partitions of the computers, C drive, D drive, E drive, F, and some computers have G and extra also. Mostly G also. Today computers have G drive also. Can save lot of computers. HCL and some companies provided like that. So here it's a small mechanism where you just understand how the disk rotate, when the disk rotate and information is stored with the help of rotary drive shaft. Here how data will be stored, 0 ones, computer means digital information, 0 ones 1 0 and finally convert to the human readable form. Next, here some of the information given regarding this hard disk or magnetic disk. Here only changes in the magnetic field under the head can be sensed during the read operation. Therefore, if binary state 0 and 1 are represented by two opposite states, what happens? Then a voltage is induced in the head only 0 to 1 and 1 to 0 transition in the bit stream. A consecutive of 0 and 1s are determined by using the clock, remember. So here very important keyword is Manchester encoding. So whenever for BTech or any exams, competitive exams, they have to ask about this kind of small questions, objective questions. What kind of technique is followed in magnetic hard disk? You can say select the answer Manchester coding encoding. What is the technique means? It is used to combine the clocking information with the data, and also RW heads are maintained at small distance from disk surfaces in order to achieve high bit densities. When disk is moving at the steady state, the air pressure develops between disk surfaces of head. This air pressure forces the head away from the surface, and also the flexible spring connection between head and its arm mounting permits the heat to fly at the desired distance away from the surface. Okay, let's have a real-time example. So when you have a chance, you can, whenever the computer had some crashed computer or something, the admin try to repair in front of the shops or somewhere computer shop, peripherals devices or something, or in the laboratories, you can try to check. And also what happens when you do operations, the computer will heat also, some heat energy developed, because these are following the mechanical structure. So heat some certain stage when you use the computer, it have produces heat also, but it never affect the data, just remember. So it's following the Manchester encoding technique. Then what are the advantages or merits of using this hard disk? Because it has a larger capacity for a given physical size, and also in data density is high because the storage medium is not exposed to contaminating elements, and also read-write heads of the disk system are movable, and also disk has three parts. What are the parts in this hard disk means? Disk plotter, disk drive, and disk controller. So this is called user disk, and disk drive spins the disk and moves read-write heads, and disk controller is a very important area. Upcoming semester we will see some points. Let's go for next device. Before going disk controller, we had now about the next optical disk. We can say this here, each track is divided into sectors. Let's go for the diagram here. So how the CD is organized today, day-to-day life, go for a project or any seminars or some program. What happened? They are using the CDs. Lot of CDs. Types of CDs include CD write, CD CD RW, and so on, DVD write, and so on. Many is there, but generally CD is there. Today day-to-day life, what happened? It's the available CDs are very less because people are going for pen drive and more advanced flash memories and secondary memory disks. So here organized data, it have sector and also sector 0, sector followed by track 1 0. Remember the organization of one surface on a disk. How means here every sector some information, every track some information will be there. So whenever CD, what happen, you can insert the any laptop or computer, you can store data. Or else if you already some stored data or movie or what play songs or anything, you can insert the drive and get the data, whether it's a form of MP3 play movies or project or program and so on. You can load a lot of data and some points. Each track is divided into sectors and set up corresponding tracks on surfaces of a stack of a disk from a logical cylinder. Let's go for one more diagram for a cross section of optical disk also. As a computer students, you should know everything. The data are accessed by specifying the surface number, track number, and the sector number also. The read-write operation start at sector boundaries, and also data bits are stored serially on each track, and each sector usually contains 5 to 12 bytes. Remember, so it can save particular information. So here the diagram is mandatory. You get minimum 2 marks when I ask question. So this is the cross section of CD. How it means, if you somewhere broken or something, you can observe where it can label ACR aluminum and 1.2 some meters there. So this polycarbonatic plastic is made by the material called this one. Okay, now the question is, why you go for secondary storages? Because the previous sessions I explained about the types of main memory and everything. Because when you go the computer manufacturer can manufacture a hard disk and everything, because the problem is cost of hard disk so more. That's what, and we go for secondary devices. Why is secondary devices? Because these are very cheap and best one. So anyone, for example, today can buy a pen drive for 400, 500. CDs also 20 rupees, 30 rupees you can buy in India like countries. So you can save data. Temporarily you can use a CD, and if you don't want to use it, and if you buy a CD, you can, there will be option. Once buy a CD 20 rupees, you can once write a data and use one time. Or else go more than some cost, just 40-50 rupees, you can buy DVDs. So what happens, DVD read write means once you have file today, you can go and use it. Next time if you want to update, you can delete the previous file, you can save new one, new data also. So this, and moreover the memory space is more and more. It available to 16 GB, 18 GB, 16 GB, 32 GB, and so on. That is the advantage of using the secondary memory devices. That's what we are going to study about this also. So each have some information here. Each one have some part of the information where converted to digital. At last we can view the data in the computers. Next, Here error checking code is used to detect and correct errors, and also disk controller. Now so disk controller is a very important one, heart of the hard disk or magnetic disk. It keeps record of various defects and also divided into two portions, one called the primary portion, another called secondary portion. Each track has some number of sectors, so all tracks have same storage capacity. Remember, each track, if you have 5 tracks, each track have save some data only, storage data, and the stored information is packed more densely on inner track and outer track. That means what? So what are the information give? For example, the a.txt file you are using, a.java you are using, b.j, what are the files? All the information will be stored nearby. So it gives a lot of space to save the data. Next, some important area here. These are asked for definitely 2 mark. Access time. There are 2 components involved in the time delay. One is called seek time, another called latency or rotational delay. What is seek time? The time required to move the read write head to the proper track. Remember, time required to move the read write head to the proper track. Then latency or rotational delay, the amount of time that elapses after head is positioned over the correct track until the starting position of the addressed sector passes under the r/w head. Seek time plus latency equal to, you can say, disk access time. Just ask compare seek time and rotational delay, you can answer this question. Yes. Disk controller, just now told you there are 4 operations held by the disk controller, that is called seek, read, write and error checking. Very important. So now disk controller, the structure of disk controller means the disk controller always supported by connected between the processor and the main memory with the help of system bus. While seeing the diagrams you can understand. So processor, main memory, in between connect the disk controller where it have a disk drive and disk drive, and so disk drive is there. Disk drives will be there part of this in. So now the question is, what is the use of disk controller? This is one of the main supervisor for the hard disk and so on. Whether it's a hardware or software, it's a hardware model. Disk controller means what? It's hardware model. It also provide connections between the processor and main memory. And the job of the disk controller is what? Store, erase the or format of data. If you want to store new data, you can store, or erase the old data date. And whenever you want, you can do any updation with the help of disk controller. So these are the main integrant and important part of the hard disk or magnetic disk. So here some points given. So and also it follows the DMA scheme, direct memory scheme, for to transfer data between disk and memory. So in the previous sections I explained about the virtual memory and everything. There I told about DMA, and the upcoming session definitely explain more and more point. And also here some information given with it always deal with the operating system having memory address, disk address, word count, and also the controls major functions are seek, read, write and checking error. Seek means what? Causes disk drive to move the read write head from its current position to the desired track. So that means what? Suppose you have a CD, you have a files called a.txt, b.txt, c.txt. So you insert in the CD, you want to view the data from the CD in the real time. What happen if you want to go for c.txt? What happen? It show in the organized data in alphabetical order something, you go and select. So in the back side of the computer, what happen? Go select the track where c.txt is there. Once you want to view the data, you can view it. If you want delete. You can do anything with the help of seek operation. Then read. So if you want to view only the c.txt, you can go on with the help of mouse, you can just click it. So read operation will help to read the data. And also write, transfer data to the disk. Suppose if you want to copy the data from the c.txt from the CD to your local disk desktop, you can copy it. That is called write operation. Error checking, and also it computes the error correcting code value for the data, read from a given sector and compares it with the comparing corresponding ECC value and read from the disk. So many, if you go deeply, it go for electronics also, electronics subject area. So don't go deeply, just remember seek, read, write, error, like that. What are the operation or how data is organized in CDs means, or optical disk means, you can write. Example, you can say CDR, CD, DVD, DVDR, RW and so on, you can write it. Then Magnetictape. This is one of the important hardware components. Nowadays people are go for Magnetictape also. Real time the structure of Magnetictape followed by like this only. Sorry for troubling you because the diagram is not clear here. Anyhow, so remember Magnetictape system followed by, you can here there will be a file reader. So file reader will be there. File here there will be a thing is important is this also Magnetictape system. This are one of the secondary familiar device where it followed by the file marker, the starting part of the program, and always follow the record and gap. Remember, record some information, record and gap, again record and gap, again record, again gap, again record and gap, like that. So this today Magnetictapes are available, and the drawback of Magnetictape is virus attack. Say virus means what? One of the trouble happen for the computers. So when you go for take Magnetictape from one system, you have chance to attack the virus. Once virus attacked, your data will be affected. So we should be carefully scan and apply the antivirus and go for safety also. So magnetic disk you can use in real time, where somewhat you can use in some embedded computers like photo, digital camera, or somewhere shooting some videos or function, birthday function and so on. So you can save data, and after you can make it a CD or convert to your online or whatever you can do it today. Okay, so these are things about Magnetictape. Some points given, highlighting points here. What is how Magnetictape work means here it's a method. What is Magnetictape means? These are method for storing data onto a Magnetictape from one or more sources, include providing a first temporary storage area for temporarily holding data, and a secondary temporary storage for temporarily holding housekeeping information, where it contains a predetermined number of data holding areas of fixed size also. So diagram is important. The quantity of data is stored here and so on, and the process is repeated until the first storage area is full or there is no more data to store also. And the contents of the first and second temporary storage areas are then written onto the tab as a single unit, and also the procedure is repeated as necessary until the tab is full or all of the data to be stored has been written onto the tab. So the tab also today available with the help of you can say help of some file size, maybe 2 GB or 1 GB and so on. Ignore me any mistakes that any technical like that. And moreover, hard disk have one more thing called RPM, that is rotate per minute, like that. So the hard disk having a rotation or RPM speed up to 5000. Why I am saying means when you go for competitive or some exam, they may ask 2 more questions, or else some object question asked what is the maximum cut of RPM means. Today hard disk where the data moves around the system with the help RPM, rotate per minute, and the maximum size is 5000, like that. You have to answer as a computer student like that. I hope that you understand these points here. What I told, hard disk or magnetic disk, and also optic disk. Apart from this, you have flash memory concept. Flash memory is, you can say, best example is pen drive. Once if you ask the university, you can write yourself what are the pen drive you know everything, what is pen drive and how to store data, and say there also the effect it may affected by the virus today sometime like that. So you understand what is. I hope that you understand what are the hard disk and what are the optical disk, what are the examples of disk, and followed by Magnetictape and so on. I hope that you understand. Please comment and subscribe the channel, and please support for us. And any queries or any comment, please follow the social media and stay connected with me. Thank you.